Information about coronavirus cases in nursing homes has been extremely rare these days. Here's the evidence. While there have been over 40 COVID-related deaths among people in Erie County nursing homes, nursing home operators have not acknowledged fatal cases. Now Governor Cuomo appears ready now to release that information. Here's 2 on your side, Steve Brown.
In a change of position on the issue, Governor Andrew Cuomo today indicated his administration would soon release COVID data on individual nursing homes. This development came out of the governor's daily news briefings out of Albany. He has been reluctant to release information about COVID cases inside nursing homes for fear of breaching the privacy of residents and their families. One of the few nursing home operators to self-report COVID cases has been the McGuire Group. Just this week, it announced it had over 100 coronavirus cases inside 3 of its facilities. Cuomo was pressed again today on why the state health department is not releasing COVID case data on all nursing homes. This was his response.
And how many nursing homes are there?
613.
613 nursing homes, right? So you're not talking about one phone call. But we are getting the data. It is coming in. When will we have it? Do we know? Today.
So it appears that soon the public will have a glimpse as to what has been going on inside individual nursing homes when it comes to COVID cases and perhaps even COVID fatalities. This has been something of an evolving issue for Governor Cuomo and his administration. Just last week, the state health department began releasing fatality data by county for nursing homes. In Lancaster, Steve Brown, Channel 2 News.